So we have our last of the realism pieces. This is number 117, The Horse in Motion by Edward Muybridge. It was created in 1867 after the invention of the dry glass plate. That is a huge advancement in photography because it reduced the need to immediately develop prints under the collodion method that uh, Nadar had to do, and it also decreased the exposure time to 1/25th of a second. So we went from 8 minutes with still life in studio to 1/25th of a second when the shutters open for capturing the print. And so this is really important because it allows moving objects to be photographed. And so this series of photographs celebrates the new developments with a sequence of a galloping horse, and it also establishes that new photographic methods were capable of nearly instantaneous exposure. There's also, up until this actual piece, there was an argument because horses were still very common in this time for people to own and have, is that when they're galloping, do all 4 feet leave the floor, or is there always at least 1 foot on the ground? That was like a huge question for the people during this time period. And so this photograph is going to answer that question. So there was a wager that was placed where the wager was $42,000 to settle the bet. And you can see that in frame 3 of The Horse in Motion, that all 4 feet are off the ground. The way Muybridge was able to determine this is that he actually set up 12 different cameras parallel to a racetrack and then connected the camera's shutter switch to a cable which was pulled by the horse as it ran across a wire. And so when these photographs were published in Scientific American magazine, they were also published along with instructions on how to cut them out and place them in the machine that you see on the right called a zoetrope. Zoetropes were actually antique children's toys, which created a rotating cylinder, and you would put like a sequence of images on the inside, and when it spins, it shows like a moving picture. So this is what it looks like in a zoetrope. So let me go ahead and hit play so you guys can see this. So pretty cool that they can show this based on 12 different cameras put together on that zoetrope. And it slows it down a little bit too, because a horse gallops faster than that, because otherwise you'd be able to, see that. So here's actually another picture. This one's actually a zoopraxiscope, and it shows how common they were because when I was in Barcelona last year, we were in Casa Mia, or it's also called La Pedrera, that was designed by Antoni Gaudí, the one that's responsible for so many Barcelona's architectural pieces, but in particular La Sagrada Familia. But this zoopraxiscope on the outer ring has slots cut into it, and when you spin it, the viewer gets the impression that the single image is in continuous motion. So this is important because it bridges the gap between still photography and motion pictures. So photography had advanced so much that it can capture moments that the human eye can't. And that is a huge advancement for this art form. Very early film, video art, and photography will eventually actually have a ripple effect on painters, particularly the Impressionists. And I'm going to talk about why photographs are going to affect painters in the Impressionist screencast when we get there. But that's our last piece for realism, and thank you for listening. And I will be posting the next packet in the next couple days. Bye.